One.
Welcome to Two Randos.
You
And
ever
you.
Two Randos and me. All right?
Welcome to
That's how
two.
that's how the intro that's how the intro
Welcome
normally
to
goes.
two random.
Right?
You're
Yeah.
here too, so it can't just be two randos.
Is
There's
it three
three of
randos?
us.
Yes, but it's me and two randos. That's the name of the challenge.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Me and two randos.
You just said
That's how
welcome
it
to
is.
two
It's
random.
like pizza and three roommates plus apartment 23. Anyway, today's a special thing about movies and the best movies that we personally like. I
So you
like
can get to.
action movies,
But
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 we're gonna
before we go into that, first of all, I owe Master Morte a big apology from last video because I was wrong. Turns out New York was like Manhattan was purchased by the Dutch
I knew I was right. You didn't know I was right?
for
He's a
60
history major.
guilders.
He's a history major.
Yeah, even less. It's equivalent
For
to $22.
60 guilders worth of material, not even like the actual currency, 60 guilders worth of material. For those of you who don't know, as Jay Morty just point out, it's like slightly above 20 bucks. Now, can you imagine buying Manhattan for
Yeah,
that?
it's behind me and it's massive.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even when accounted for inflation, it still ain't that much. So that's like, yeah. But it was taken from the Dutch by force by the British. You violent people. But okay, cool. Now, let's go into the movies. We're
And a
gonna
quick update.
Mhm.
The reason why we're picking these movies is so that our audience can get to know a little bit about us and what we are like by just our movie tastes and picks. Jay, you have to pick movies. That's all I'm saying.
uh, to be clear, no higher than R rated, please.
Yeah, that's easy.
So Khalil, do not pick what was the name of that thing again? I forgot the name of Debbie Does Dallas. Yeah, that's not allowed.
What? Oh my
I thought
God.
you were gonna say A Night in Paris or one of those NC-17 stuff, man. You said
What,
no
like
higher than R.
the
That's
Emmanuel movies?
Yeah, yep, like something like that.
Oh my God. We might as well say movies like Ski School and Ski Patrol. Those old school movies from the 80s.
wait. What was the name of that movie? Casablanca. Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm.
What?
I mean, if we're going into movies, I guess I'm not gonna say I like it, but because a lot of my friends like the movie, I'm gonna
Mhm.
say RoboCop, the original RoboCop, before it even had an R rating. So the movie didn't have a R rating, so it had kids like us in our generation in the '80s watching some R-rated stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we're that old now. You say don't go past R. We had stuff that wasn't even rated. So remember that's how we lived. That's like overproof rum. You know what I'm saying? It's overproof rum.
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't.
RoboCop was the overproof rum of movies back in the day.
Yep.
I can't remember where it is, but someone keeps pointing out, do you remember that, that RoboCop shot a guy in the crotch? I'm like, who keeps pointing this out over and over and over? That's like the main thing of the movie. I was like,
Well, but to be clear, right? That isn't the kind of thing you should be showing to people in general.
But then they sold it to us as toys.
yes,
Yeah,
Like
and
yep.
like like
I remember growing up, like we used to have the toys for things like, and I was kind of like, what is up with toys that like just is all about like shooting people?
mhm,
I
all
mean
of the
it's easy.
toys.
I mean back then we could sell the water guns. You're just selling it.
Okay, to be fair,
Yeah.
the water guns was fun, but okay.
And you can sell water guns that look like real guns.
But the thing about the RoboCop movies is like I feel like the majority of them are kind of were kind of tasteless. Like yeah, they were
Oh, this is
just
looking back at them in retrospect.
No, this is just why you like it. It doesn't have to be that detailed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Because in retrospect, I look at it, I'm like, what the hell was I watching? Some of these things are
exactly.
corny. But in reality, I'm like, oh, so he had a 50 caliber Barrett gun, Desert Eagle
A
shooting
Desert
people.
Eagle, baby. And it was
Like they
a
still,
wasn't it like a fully automatic Desert Eagle?
it was a fully automatic
Oh,
Desert Eagle,
semi-automatic at least, because that shit was
and
good
it
as
only
shit.
and the
it
key thing
was
with the
it was fully automatic, but
but the
yeah.
key thing with that movie is right.
Mm.
You need to have a robotic arm to shoot it because if you shot that in real life, your arm is gone.
Yeah, that's right.
He had a switch
He was
before
just
switch
like he
was a
was walking
thing.
around like brrr, brrr, and like
Yeah,
holding
yes,
it like
exactly.
the thing had no recoil
No recall,
whatsoever.
exactly.
That
He had a
was
switch before
only
And he
switch was a
RoboCop
needed
thing.
could do
he
that.
needed the robotic weight so he wouldn't be falling back. Because if I grab that now, it's over. Is this self defense or harm? It's gonna be. But
Yeah,
yeah, but SS, you should start on your movie because mine is just an aspect of a memory.
Oh, my first movie on my list is of course The Matrix. And it's only because of how futuristic it is. And I love
you
technology. That's it. That look at my background for Christ's sake. Like everything is tech. And
you
I
know
just love learning stuff.
I still watch The
The
Matrix,
first one, I still
the
watch it
very
randomly.
first one,
Yeah.
and like it still holds up as a good movie.
Mhm.
So you know that thing is going to fall into like the legendary movies of all time, just like, you know,
Yep. That
I mean,
huge
Casablanca.
cinema.
I agree with the Matrix because the other day I watched it, and I know they remaster a lot of these things, but it still looks good. I'm
Yeah.
older now, so
Have they remastered the Matrix or is it still
No,
the same quality
it's
from
still
back
the
in the
same
day?
quality and
It's
it's
still the
still
same
good.
quality. It has not
yeah,
been
but
remastered.
it could. All right, so it hasn't been remastered. Still
Mhm.
look good on 4K. Still look good on HD. I mean, and the older we get, the more we understand in the movie.
Yeah,
And
you
You know,
understand more and more things
and
about it.
no matter how many times I see it, I still have to chuckle every time he looks up and goes, "I know kung fu."
I still say that to this day. I still just randomly tell people I know kung fu. I still say that. And
and
when
that's
I'm
one
playing fighting games, I know kung fu.
Show
and in
me.
the Matrix when he downloads all that information, I still wish that's how it was. Like,
That's specifically one of the main reasons I love that movie because of that. I learn shit every when I'm in the shower, I'm watching at least 100 facts videos. I watch Neil deGrasse Tyson Star Talk every damn day. I'm always trying to learn as much as possible. If I could learn as fast as they did in that movie, oh, it'd be awesome. Yeah.
yep. But I always think they should do that since they did that. But that's a great movie. I like that.
Mhm.
Hmm. I am going to go, and people are gonna know immediately the kind of movies I like. Into the Spider-Verse.
Good selection. I was going to
That
say one of us should we should all have at least one superhero movie, and that was going to be mine, but I was like, I'm not going to make it that detailed, just free fly stuff like that. Yeah,
like that show like blew my mind. Like that was probably the most creative uh implementation of Spider-Man I've seen, and I love it to death.
we should watch that today. We should watch that today. Jay,
By the
have you
way,
seen that?
Yeah, I've seen Into the Spider Verse.
Just making sure.
what's your take on Into the Spider-Verse, Master Morte?
I mean, I like it. I like the different aspects of it.
Mhm.
Um, it's funny to have a dynamic and then having an uncle that's like spoiler alert for you people who didn't watch it, but having an uncle that's suspect.
Hmm.
So I like that. I like everything about that. And I
Mm.
like the fact that ironically, like as I said in the beginning, he's like, yo, you gotta watch it, man. It's breathing New York. And as the worst New Yorker ever, I turn it on
I was going to say
and
something, but never mind. Continue.
uh, I turned it on and it was good. It was playing Little Biggie. He was walking through Brooklyn. He was speaking some Spanglish.
Queens,
He was. It was Queens he was walking through. Oh yeah, I
Slumberlands in
forgot he's
Queens.
Queens. See, in my Spurley verse, he's probably in Brooklyn. But then he going to the private school too, so I like that. And then
Hmm.
his dad had that big New York look. You see how my jaw look? I like that.
As a matter of fact, you could pass for his dad.
His dad had that look right there.
Hmm.
What are you doing?
Hmm. Yeah. One of the
But
reasons I like that movie is that changed animation permanently after that. It showed you that you didn't have to use one style. That goes along with The Matrix, how that movie changed how people directed movies and how much information people put in movies. That's what I like about Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
But
I
that was going to be
agree.
my superhero pick as well. And if anyone knows me, that's going completely against my team. So yeah.
What do you mean against your team? Come on, you know you love Marvel.
I
You
do love Marvel, don't get me wrong.
weren't you telling me the other day that like Batman could whoop Superman's ass?
Uh,
Let's move on. Jay,
the J.
Jay, what is your second
Wait,
movie?
you know how people have like I don't remember the word, but like if I'm ever in trouble and y'all get a message there saying, "Yo, Bruce Wayne was right." That's code. Everything we're all coming to everything. The minute you see me pick Bruce over Clark, something's up. Be prepared. But continue.
But you're also saying something along the lines of Magneto could whoop his ass. You're saying how
well,
like
speaking of Batman,
even
speaking of
Captain
Batman,
America could whoop
I
Superman ass. And I was shocked because like I was saying like Superman seemed powerful, but you were so adamant.
The Aurora Borealis, the
I
damage
I
in your
will I
brain.
will I will say if I had to pick a superhero movie, I got two of them really, but I will say The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Okay.
Wait,
Because
I
the
really
one
like
with
that.
Bane?
That's uprising, sure.
no, not Dark Knight Rises. Um, the one with the Joker, Heath Ledger,
Yeah, Heath
Yeah, yeah,
Ledger.
yeah, yeah. No, no, that
right?
that was
Because I'm a Heath Ledger fanboy, so you know what I'm
Oh
saying.
yes,
The other
yes.
movie that I would pick is The Knight's Tale.
The Knight's Tale. I was
because
waiting for
the
that.
because the
Mhm.
Knight's Tale. Now, see, now I'm getting to a favorite movie. The reason I like the Knight's Tale is because that movie shouldn't be good. It was just fun.
Mhm.
They try to do some modern. They always do it, and it usually fails. Some modern medieval movie with some futuristic stuff. But Heath Ledger was great. That whole cast was great. You know, it was a beautiful movie. He changed the stars. I liked it. He was doing some jousting.
You know that the only reason that movie was good was because of Shannon Sossaman.
Mm,
I have a question. I'm gonna ask you guys
it has
about the
vision in it.
movie.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you guys about the movie and just test to see exactly how old all you people are. Here, okay, here's one. You ready?
Yeah, right.
Um, it was Dragonheart. Do you guys know that movie?
Yeah, with the dragons.
Is that the one with the is that the one with Sean Connery talking?
That's the one with Sean Connery talking.
Okay. As the
And
dragon. Okay.
as a dragon, yeah. Do you guys
Wait, are you
remember that
saying that
movie?
that was one of your favorite movies? Is that what you're saying right now? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
That was one of my favorite movies because of the dynamic between the dragon and the knight,
Mhm.
which I know it was kind of common, uh, like a common trope in those
Mhm.
days because they had other movies like that, right? Where they had that kind of love-hate relationship, like Willow. Willow was a movie where they had that kind of love, but there's something about Dragonheart, that just really appealed to me.
I mean, but this is going back to like your World of Warcraft. You know what I'm saying? So it's got like no. If you like a certain movie, it
Hmm.
almost dictates what games you like. Which is another parallel. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I could say
Speaking
that.
of,
I
literally
do
speaking
fly
of that,
around on a dragon in World of Warcraft.
and speaking of the
So yeah.
games you like, I'm literally wearing a Zeus shirt right now to go to Smite. That's literally how it is.
Oh,
See,
Smite. I was gonna say what's the name of that old game? I mean, like you and I used to play it. It was for Nintendo. Um where like
Which
you're go.
Nintendo? Wait, you talking about dating yourself? Which Nintendo you talking about?
There's a game where like you had to go to all the different gods and gain all kinds of weapons, and then
Altered
what was the
Beast.
name? No, 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 no. That was for Sega. Come on, son.
Crap, you're right. You're right. You're right. I completely forgot that.
Yeah, weren't you a Nintendo fan? Like you had every Nintendo I've ever
I
heard
did
of.
have all the systems. Like, the only system I didn't have is the PS5
Mm.
and the original Xbox. Those are the only two systems that I didn't have.
Yeah, I actually had the original Xbox, but don't tell anyone.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, when was the last time you played Smite?
I put it on once a week. I literally put it on once a week, play one game with Zeus, and then I leave the game. Because when I go in, all of my stars are still there. So people seem to go, "What the hell? How did person have so many stars with Zeus and this game anybody?" And I just play one game and then leave because then it's
See,
the enemy team just rush, just like what the fuck? Take that guy
yeah.
out immediately. So I just
Yeah,
leave.
I haven't been motivated to try it out because they only added
Is it
one
Battle
god
of
that I play
Olympus?
with.
Is it
Yeah,
Battle?
that's the one. That's the one. Jay,
My background was literally
you
going to
are
be Olympus today.
the researcher of like I wouldn't
Well,
have been able
you
to
know what's
find
funny?
that game.
That storyline is so common that they have different games that have the same storyline. So when you first say it, I'm thinking Hades.
Mhm.
They
But
have a
Hades is
game for it.
new.
Hades is new. But then
Yeah.
you said, I'm like, yo, he talking about the original. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Battle for
Yeah,
Olympus.
Battle for Olympus.
See, and that shows you how long you've been liking them role playing games, even when they didn't know what role was really doing.
They didn't
You
even
remember?
have the category defined yet. It was
So,
just.
so some of the movies that we like, right?
Hmm.
I feel like we're going back to the future because it's the same thing when you're looking at streaming. The cover told you all you needed before you saw the trailer. This is epic. You know, like Willow is epically boring. I love it.
Hmm.
But when you get older, you watching it, you said, yo, this movie's 3 hours?
I don't. I
Yo,
didn't even remember Willow in 3 hours.
this movie is like, and for my fans that like the
Was it three
African movies out
hours?
there, it is a long movie. First
Yeah,
of all, they walking up the mountain, and that's at least 5, 6 minutes there. I didn't remember that.
but
You know, and the scenes I remembered came so far in between.
Mm,
Like I love Willow. I love rest in peace, Val Kilmer. You'll
yeah.
always be Mad Mardigan to me. You know, so, Mad Mardigan. I know we were talking about Batman. I ain't really like your Batman. You was a good Bruce, but you wasn't good Batman. You needed to be like the guy from Dark Knight. Why am I forgetting his name? Christian Bale. There you go.
Oh,
Hello,
oh.
hello. I'm Batman. I mean, you got billions of dollars. You can't get a voice modulator. Come on, you gotta sound like you gotta sound
No, it is
constipated.
unacceptable.
You know, but I still love it. I still
You see,
love it.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, right?
Before you
The
go,
reason he
Willow's
can't use,
runtime was 1 hour and 26 minutes.
yeah.
No, that must have no. That's the longest 1 hour I ever seen. I must have been sleepy there. Yo, because it took a way long time for him to do the adventure to get to the sorcerer.
No, but that's true, right? Because like I remember the first time I saw Usual Suspects, I was like, this is the greatest movie ever made. And then when I like brought some of the I was trying to convince some of these youngins that Usual Suspects was the greatest movie ever made. And I went through and looked at it with them, and I was like, "Ooh, they can't say that. Ooh,
Well,
oh
well,
no!"
once you
And
get,
so,
but,
like you could see the younger people like looking at me out of the corner of their eye, like, "What are they? What is he making me watch?" It's
well,
like
well, well.
it just didn't age well.
You see when you know how they have the previews and they tell you watch out for this.
Yeah,
You can say this movie is a subject of its error. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because if you don't say that, people are gonna be like, "Yo, you watched it." I mean, I was watching Looney Tunes. I didn't know what they were saying. I was watching Bugs Bunny is just as corrupt as Zeus. The two people watching is corrupt.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I like Bugs Bunny. Another good movie, by the way, just to keep on track. Roger Rabbit. That was a good movie.
I literally watched behind the scenes of Cool World yesterday, and Cool World came out because of Roger Rabbit. I literally watched that yesterday.
So Roger Rabbit was a cool movie because, again, another movie which they snuck past the censors. You thought it was a kid movie, and as you get older, you realize that's not a kid movie. It's like,
yeah. Can you imagine opening a door and that comes out? Wait, you guys don't remember what I'm talking about?
We didn't hear you. Your mic cut out. I didn't hear
you
what
said
you said.
open door.
Sorry, no. In Roger Rabbit, like he was going around opening doors looking for Roger Rabbit. In one of those, he opened and a woman came out and she was like, "Ah, man."
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The other movie I'm thinking about in aspects, I'm talking about just memories. You know, Ferris Bueller got to make it, but it's only making it.
That's on my list. Come on.
The other weird movie that makes it for some reason is Howard the Duck.
No.
Wait, so are you saying that that's one of your top fives?
No, that's my top -10. But I'm just saying, it's like one of those. It's one of those movies in the world that when it came out, I kind of remember it being good, and then it's not.
It was a cult classic.
Actually. So we gotta put a pin there and make a subject on movies you thought were good and not good. Maybe a next content.
Another movie that people like when we watched it, to me it was like the greatest thing in the world because it was essentially like the kids' version of Indiana Jones. But then yes, but when you go back and watch it again, like you can't watch that with people now. It was a brilliant show, but
I think they might be remaking it. Not remaking, like making
a
sequel.
Goonies is going to be everlastingly like Stranger Things, right?
It's because Goonies are forever. Come on, son.
Yeah, Goonies is forever.
I still drive over to Oregon every once in a while to Astoria just to look at the old Goonies house.
Just to see Goonies?
Yep. Like I was a very big fan of that movie, but can't show it to people now.
Jay brought up one of my favorites by mentioning Ferris. I still live literally by Ferris Bueller's rule that life moves pretty fast. If you don't take your time every once in a while to smell the roses or live, you'll miss everything goes by. I know that was not the phrase, but I literally live by that. Jay can tell you that at least once a month, I just stay home for absolutely no reason, just to relax and enjoy my.
You're in Kentucky, so you're not smelling any roses. What you smelling there? Farts?
Who says I'm in Kentucky?
No. There will be no Kentucky slander. We got the Louisville Slugger. We got the Bluegrass. We got the Kentucky Wildcats. There will be no Kentucky. We got Kentucky Fried Chicken, even though they don't like fried chicken over there with that.
Is Kentucky Fried Chicken even from Kentucky?
Yes, it literally is. The original restaurant is here. So I've driven by it.
It's just like, as much as I don't like Starbucks, I know my wife loves Starbucks, so there will be no Starbucks slander. I've been to the first Starbucks thanks to Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody showed me a little coffee shop. I've been to the Needle. Speaking of that, Oracle, I'm still waiting on them pictures, man.
Wait.
I'm still waiting on them
You're waiting on pictures? Wait.
Wait.
You know what pictures
about movies? We're talking about movies.
Yeah, there's a movie called Sleepless in Seattle. It didn't make my list, but I know I was on the Needle. I know I was up there.
Did you look down at the house?
And you know what? I was even hotter back then because I was skinnier. Look, now this around. Look. I don't even have to puff my face. You see it? Look, it's all puffed. It's like I was slender, man, and we were eating good.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When you did that, you look like one of those dumplings with like a face painted on it.
Yeah, I'm just here, man. I'm just here chilling. But the only reason I brought up them pictures is because there's some movies like Goonies. See, those are movies I like aspect movies. And what was I doing at that time? Now Stranger Things captured that movie for me. Because kids got cell phones. Where's my kids? None of those, all those 80s. parents would be in child services right now. My kid went under a mountain.
Under a mountain.
My kid
Like,
went under.
dude, when I was growing up, you couldn't ride your bike that as far as those kids are riding their bikes. And
Yeah,
like you're trying to tell me your kid will be out for like like disappear, and when you come back, you're like, oh God, I love you. Not that's yeah. I go away for more than 2 hours and come home. They're like, where were you? What are you doing? Were you getting in trouble? Yeah, completely different
I
reaction.
From my list, I've only named two movies so far, Matrix and Ferris, but I have to add Scott Pilgrim versus the World because of all my ADHD. The amount of stuff that's happening in Scott Pilgrim is what I need in every movie. I have to see Easter eggs everywhere. I have to see random things that makes no sense to
Mm.
general public, but to be like, oh my God, do you know what that reference is? It
I
referencing?
think
I
I
need movies
think
like
I
that
think
in
it's
all
because
movies.
deep down inside you're vegan.
Damn right. Damn right.
I would also say that the other aspect of movies for me that makes me remember them sometimes is the music, right? Because
Mhm.
Star Trek Troopers stuck for me. Like I looking at it, it was a great movie. They even
Mhm.
came out. They even have a video game now that's out that people
Helldivers
that
is based on it.
that just came on that. But all I heard was that Blur song, woo, and that was it.
Song two, which do you know that Blur song two was a copy of Nirvana's "Smells Like Teen Spirit"? They're making fun of it.
Oh, I
Oh,
did not
They
know
I didn't,
that.
I
literally
didn't, I
made.
didn't, I
That's why it's
didn't.
called song two. They didn't give a shit about the song. It was a copy of "Smells Like Teen Spirit." They're like, we can make a song like that. That's easy,
The the
and they
most the
hated the
most
song.
profound thing I know about them
Mhm.
is that the lead singer in Blur is from Gorillaz. He's the lead singer in Gorillaz.
Yeah. Mhm.
And he sing about Clint Eastwood, which I'm surprised no Clint Eastwood movies made up on him, man. Good, bad, and the ugly. Yo,
No.
come on,
Yeah.
man. I'm not
So
talking about politics, people. You got to understand.
yeah, no, I was going to say the thing about Clint Eastwood with he just came out a movie called The Mule that he's a director and all of that stuff in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I remember seeing this reviewer go, you can tell that Clint Eastwood not only writ and direct this movie because he doesn't have not one, but he has two scenes with two women in it. And they're like, this dude is what, 98? And he has two scenes like that in this one movie? Come on.
I mean,
What?
you got to live.
He's a
You got to
pimp.
live.
Come on.
You got to
Mhm,
live. I mean, it's like the Adam Sandler rule. Adam
mhm,
Sandler looks like that. Salma Hayek looks like that.
mhm,
They're in the play. They're together.
mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
So yep.
Mhm.
the movie that I mentioned that's on my list that I was like chances are you guys have never seen it is it's called Palm Springs. It stars Andy Samberg. It's
Oh,
basically like Groundhog Day
yeah,
when they
I've
live
seen
the
it.
same day over and over again.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
movies like that.
that was a good.
And
The thing about
Groundhog
it
Day is
is,
included in it, but any movie like that they loop one day, I like that a lot. But that one's my
Even
favorite
Edge of
one.
I could
Tomorrow.
do it. I think,
Edge of Tomorrow is one of my favorite action movies of all time. When they were supposed to make part two, I was so amped, and they kept delaying it, but it's still growing. I love Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah,
Or what's
so
the last one
basically,
that came out? The birthday.
what that tells you is Kalo wants to relive the
the
same
same
days
day over
over
and
and
over again.
over.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would go mad.
Well, no, it's not. Well, it depends on what type of day it is. I don't
Mhm,
like too many days with too many branches of decisions. I don't want to be
mhm.
into no butterfly effect type thing over there. I just want to, like, what
See,
was the one that came out? Birthday. That
Yeah,
was the horror movie
there's a
version of it.
lot more of those movies than you think. In one
hmm,
year, I saw like three of them, and but like there was one that had to do with a map with two young people. There's
hmm.
one with this guy who gets arrested. Not going
You
into
know
the
what I
details
always
of that
think about
movie.
those
There's a
Groundhog
lot
movies,
more of
though?
them than you think.
You know what I always
See,
think about those movies?
hmm.
I always think it's budget constraints. I'm like, yeah, man, just shoot the same scene, same
Mhm.
spot every single time.
Yeah,
It
but
makes
they
sense, but
actually in that movie they actually went to like different like it wasn't the same scene over and
it
over
was the
again.
same scene, yeah.
They had some variety in it, which I thought was I thought they did that one pretty good. But like instead of living the same day over and over again, I wouldn't mind having the ability to like do a have a redo. Like you do something really stupid, and you're like, you know what? Let me
Mhm.
try that again.
Yeah.
That I think would be good. But like doing the same thing over and over
Mhm.
again indefinitely, never
Mhm.
dying for the rest of your life,
Mhm.
like eventually, like
Eventually, yes.
like can you imagine what it's like if you like say like, you know what? I just want to see something different, but the
Mhm.
furthest you could travel is 1 day away.
Mhm.
That's like your entire world is like 1 day away from
Mhm.
that one spot where you woke up.
Mhm. In Palm Springs, they sort of tried to retcon that by saying as long as you didn't fall asleep, and then I think he was up for like
Yeah.
some like 72 hours or
And
something
then he
like that.
died and came back.
Yeah.
But in that one, was it that he? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Because like he couldn't die either. He couldn't like if he fell asleep, it started over. Yeah. But like, how long can
Mhm.
you go without sleep before you essentially die,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
He's
at least like pass
or
out?
or or
Mhm.
have some mental,
Breakdown.
stuff
Yeah.
that going on, breakdown. I
Yeah.
Mhm.
mean, was that one of the was that one of the movies?
Of what?
No,
So
I'm just thinking. Oracle, what's on your list? Because you're at four, right?
I'm at
Uh,
four. I only have one movie left on my
And we
list.
got we got
We got 2 minutes and 10 seconds
wait,
left.
I think I already did. Didn't I already do five?
okay, that's us. Then do your fifth one.
My last movie is Amelie. I watch that at least once a year. It just reminds me um how simple things could be. Just try to be nice to as many people as possible and do good for others. That's also why I like Superman so much. Try to do as much good as possible. That's literally what it is.
I don't know. Not all Supermen did it.
You listen. No, let me go into Silver Surfer because especially how Silver Surfer is going to come out in the new Fantastic Four movie.
Fantastic Four. I don't know how I feel about the new Fantastic Four movie. Like the parts of it that I saw, the clips, it
Mhm.
seemed a bit cheesy. Like it'll probably I'm hoping it'll be good, but
Mhm.
like just the like there wasn't anything about it that seemed like original to me. So
We all know that I'm ready already.
Well,
Two.
uh,
Thunderbolts was
Thunderbolts is
great.
good.
what's on your hat?
We ready.
It looks like an S
Hmm. He's
on your
always
head.
around.
You have
The
an
way
S
you
on.
said S, it sounded so different.
It, it,
It looks like I thought he was gonna say it looks like
yeah, but he has it on his head. Isn't the S supposed to be on his chest?
It's
well, he has Zeus and he has the old god and the new god, right?
thank
Essentially.
you.
Essentially.
Very well said, sir. Very well
Yeah, but
said.
isn't a very important person missing from if he has the old god and the new god, aren't you missing one of them?
Who?
The most important god of all.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Okay.